There's a proverb that began in Africa and spread throughout the world. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Going far together is the theme of our next session, where we focus on extraordinary collaborations for peace education. First, Donato Kiniger Pasigli talks with a panel of remarkable peace builders. Arian Salman, President and General Director, Global Citizenship Foundation. Bea Gasca, founder, Woman Palooza, and philanthropist. Dr. Helena Mercelli, Senior Education Advisor for Education in Emergencies for UNICEF. Usama Kawisa, Cabinet Member for Children's Services and Counselor, Merton Council, UK. And Anna Maria Lubelska, Chair of Trustees and founder of the Peace Building Project, author and interfaith minister. Then, Dr. Gila Clara Jesus, UNESCO Artist for Peace and Human Rights Ambassador for GPEN, presents a Lifetime Achievement Award to Constance Rivière, Director of France's National Museum of Immigration History, an institution that displays creative peace education partnerships to the public every day. Finally, we enjoy a unique cultural collaboration. Dutch fine arts photographer Peter Hinkett journeyed to the town of Mbolo in the Congo, where villagers partnered with him to bring their myths and folklore to life. In Paris, he displayed these evocative photos to the original music of American singer Jen Johns, performing her song, Go Live. I think you'll agree that they go further together.
All right, so we're gonna start the next session. Where is our host? He is here. There you go.
We have to keep the momentum one way or another. I mean, it's been fantastic to the show, the whole thing until now. We have 3 speakers in presence and 2 speakers from remote. Now, I want to tell you something about who I do represent, what I do represent. I represent the World Academy of Arts and Science, an institution that was founded 65 years ago by eminent individuals, eminent scientists. I think Ayan Salman, is she there? Ayan, is you. Ayan, would you like to start? You know the questions. What does it work? How can we work together? What best for the future of peace education? Ayan, to you. You have 5-6 minutes.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate you taking the effort to invite me and be inclusive, though I'm joining all of you from Sweden right now. So first and foremost, when we ask about the question, what's working, we need to look into initiatives and efforts that have been working in the space of education. So just to give you a bit of background about what I do and what my organization works on, just so you get the context. So we work on developing global citizenship education initiatives and programs with schools around the world. We are one of the very few organizations outside the UN system to be working on fostering global citizenship education in formal spaces. That is building capacity of teachers, building systems within schools to foster global citizenship and related topics and initiatives. So one thing that has worked really well that we've seen on the ground is a school-wide approach or a whole school approach. So by that, what I mean is tackling the issue of, say, peace education, not from just, say, curriculum point of view or one particular aspect, but to look at it very holistically. So this is one thing that we see has really worked. And I think this is also aligned with the 1974 recommendation that UNESCO recently revised. So we do feel that this is one thing that's worked extremely well. Another thing that has worked extremely well is where adults model the values that they espouse to young people. So this is the second thing that I think works really well. Third, wherever national policies have meaningfully integrated, say, concepts of peace education, you see whether it's in the case of Bhutan or elsewhere, you'd see that the systems are more robust in comparison to places where the policies are not implemented in a way that they could make a difference. One of the latest things I think I also heard in the morning was also the role of AI in, say, peace interventions and activities. So the role of technology, where you utilize technology to engage, like say, for example, you have initiatives like Empatico and others that are doing extremely well in terms of connecting people and forging this idea of global solidarity. So these are some of the things that I think work really well. And I yield the floor back to our hosts so we can have this dialogue.
Thank you, Aryan. Thanks a lot. Yes, I think that you touched upon the technologies, the technological help that is so important. Now, there is generative artificial intelligence. There is also a subject that has a hard side, that has a dark side, but it also has a lot of prospects, offers a lot of prospects in terms of providing education in places where it's hard to go. It's hard to reach people. So this is something very relevant. May I ask, for perhaps, since we don't have a bio note, you should tell us who you are, who do you represent, and the same applies to Bea, who is going to talk after you. If you can tell us what you do represent, because but there has been some changes in the program. So you are all authoritative speakers, but we need to know who you are. Thank you.
All right, so I would go first. I'm delighted to be here with all of you. My name is Aryan Salman. I represent the Global Citizenship Foundation. So as an organization, we work on advancing SDG 4.7, that is education for global citizenship and sustainable development. And peace education is a part of the global citizenship initiative that we foster. So we've been working for almost a decade with schools in almost 70 countries, with education leaders and educators. So that's a bit of background. I'm a first generation learner, first in my family to be educated, to be in a space that I am, and to set up an organization that is international, works with leaders worldwide. We work with international partners like UNESCO and others to foster many programs. So that's a bit of backdrop, and I would really like to know more from you. Yeah.
We have here Bea Gasca, who you are and what you're up to.
Certainly. Nice to meet you, everyone. I am based in Houston, Texas. This is where I live. So here is like 9 a.m. in the morning. And I was kindly invited by Darlene since I applied for this conference. I am a business woman and an activist. I am very focused on women's rights. I'm originally from Mexico, and you all should know that the situation for education for girls, not only in Mexico, but in Latin America or in low-income countries, is way more complicated than in France, for example, right? So I represent Women Palooza, which is a concert to create awareness on all the violence that women and girls suffer. One of them might be the non-access to education or a very hard access to it. And I am also a chair for LATAM for the Cherries Blair Foundation, where what we do is to empower or to support women entrepreneurs to have like better and bigger businesses, because our insight is that when the money arrives into a family through the women, it is used in 70 to 80% on improving the wellness of the whole family. So when we empower these entrepreneurs, we are also supporting education and better possibilities and a better future for our girls and boys. That's me. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Excellent statement and presentation. I would now go to the people that we have right here physically. Hélène Marcelli, would you tell us who you are, Elena? Elena Marcelli, correct?
Yeah, Murseli. Elena Murseli. Yes.
Murseli. Elena Murseli.
Yeah, so this is my second time actually, so I already introduced myself this morning.
But
so
we have people online, maybe you have not been.
Yeah, I'm going to.
So if you be so kind to tell us who you are and what you do.
So I'm the Senior Education Advisor for Education in Emergency, more specifically at UNICEF HQ. So happy to be here with you. So I would like to maybe continue what I was talking about this morning in the session and explain why UNICEF sees peace education as fundamental for children's development and for building lasting peace. So education is more than what happens in the classroom. It's a powerful way to break cycles of poverty, foster social cohesion, and establish peace. So UNICEF recognizes that a quality education has the potential to empower children and their communities, fostering resilience, tolerance, and understanding. So whether in stable or conflict-affected settings, we see how peace education can lead to better health, safety, and development outcomes across the sustainable development goals. So today, unfortunately, over 450 million children live in conflict zones at grave risk of missing out on education and learning. So UNICEF works to ensure continuity of learning in humanitarian settings, helping children learn even amid crisis. So our program focuses on building foundational skills like literacy and numeracy, but as well as transferable skills like problem solving and conflict resolution. And we work with governments to do that. We also integrate mental health and psychosocial support to help children manage trauma, build resilience, and find a sense of stability even in uncertain times. So education doesn't just promote individual growth and development, as you know, it's also key to building social cohesion and bridging divides. In fact, countries with high educational inequalities are more than twice as likely to experience violent conflict. And UNICEF's program focuses on promoting inclusive and equitable education and also intercultural understanding. So we aim to build critical skills to conflict resolution and active citizenship, to empower young people to engage within their communities and contribute to stability and peace. So we have programs in 160 countries and also in conflict and crisis context as well. So I can share two examples of countries in West and Central Africa where we have, amongst other countries, some project that we have. So in Central African Republic, UNICEF has supported children who had exited armed forces or armed groups with protection or reintegration support, which included return to school support, accelerated learning, apprenticeship, placement, and support for income generating activities. And in Burkina Faso, we have some peace clubs that engage with young people in communities based on their initiative, fostering collective well-being and social cohesion. So these are examples, and I have many other examples that I'm happy to share with you later, but just to give you an idea of how we work and how we foster and promote social cohesion through education for young children and young adolescents as well. Thank you.
Elena Morcelli, thank you very much. Thank you for your expose, for reminding us the importance of UNICEF, that is probably the most hands-on organization in the UN system, the less protocolaire in many ways, but that experiences difficulties as the whole UN system, as we know. But we'll come to you with a question later on. I would like to hear now from Usama Kavisa, who is next to you and who will kindly introduce himself.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. And I would actually like to challenge everyone here to shift their focus from thinking global to thinking local, because when we talk about peace initiatives, and especially with this being the Global Peace Education Network, we have that focus on global institutions, on every country around the world. But the role that I play in my home country back in the UK is very much local. And through that role, I've seen a lot of potential for us to advance peace initiatives at a local level that can then ripple out into having a global impact. And the reason I believe that deeply, and I want to advocate that here today and talk about some examples of where I've seen that happen, is because the reason I'm here is because another peace ambassador got me involved in this line of work. So I haven't always been involved in politics, but it was when I was at college and I was facing the challenge a lot of young people face when they're making decisions about their future. I didn't know the sort of impact I wanted to have on the world. And it was through an influential teacher who is part of the network, Kathy Miller, who unfortunately cannot be here because of an illness. She was able to steer me towards public service and making a difference through local communities. And through that, I was able to do a lot of work through the not-for-profit sector, through the education sector, and now in public office. And so from an experience like that, I've seen the power of these small local institutions in recruiting and preparing others to become ambassadors for peace. And so in terms of my current role, so I currently serve as an elected councillor and have responsibilities for children's services in an area of southwest London. And through this role, I have the opportunity to shape the futures of children and young people in London, and to not just safeguard those children and ensure they have the best start in life and have every opportunity to succeed, but also to embed the values that will transform them into civic-minded and active citizens who want to make a positive difference to the world. And this responsibility extends to the wider community as well. And as a councillor, we also have the incredible power to convene people and bring various stakeholders together, from schools to faith groups to charities, businesses, a whole host of community organizations to create safe and thriving communities. Because we talked a lot about building safe communities so that conflicts don't emerge, and that very much starts at a local level. If people in their local community don't feel like they're safe or have opportunities to progress, that's where conflict emerges. And so we really do need to be looking at what's happening at a local level and what opportunities people have to contribute and do well in their locality, so that doesn't spiral out into much bigger issues and conflicts that we see around the world. And I'll just end with one example of a peace initiative at a local level that has global implications. So in the area of London that I come from, it's called Merton in southwest London, if anyone's ever been or is aware of that part of London. We have a large Ahmadiyya Muslim community, which is quite a unique Muslim community, and in some parts of the world, they face a lot of persecution. But in my local area, they have one of the largest mosques I think they do have the largest mosque in Europe, and they want to use that platform in order to advance peace and share the values of their religion, which are very peace-centered. And they do a lot of community initiatives that bring people together of all faiths and support the advancement of the community. They're always there should there be a crisis or an issue. And the reason I bring them up is because one of the things they hold annually is a peace walk. And as a local representative, it is our role to support and elevate initiatives like that bring people together, that spread learning. And it's through things like that we're able to make a difference, not just at a local level, but that also extends beyond that. And I guess one example of that is me sharing this story now. But I'll leave it there, so we do have time for questions, but it's a pleasure to be with you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Usman. I mean, we have very little time for questions, but maybe briefly, I think that we spoke about, we spoke about communities and the importance to build peace in communities. What is the secret? What is the way you do it? Maybe a question for all those who are still online, if they're online as well. What is the real factor that determines an educational pattern towards peace at community level? Is there anybody that can answer this question?
Shall I just? I'm just worried about the time. Should I just do my bit, which involves school communities?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, in fact, you were next to speak, and is Anna-Maria Lubelska. Again, you have also to tell me who you are and what do you represent.
Hi, everybody. So I'm speaking in English, as you may realize. So I'm from England, and I'm promoting the concept. I've actually developed the concept of a peaceful school. And that's a bit broader than peace education. So the idea is that, well, first of all, schools find it hard to know what you're talking about often when you talk about peace and how it relates to a school. So we developed a concept of peace on 4 levels. So one is inner peace, the individual peace. We've been talking about that. The other is peaceful relationships between 2 children, 2 people. And then more than that. And then the third is a peaceful community, which would be applicable to a community in an area, or obviously a school. And then peace beyond the school. So schools can be promoting peace, can be making links. Many schools in England have links with schools around the world and do a lot in their local communities. So peace on those 4 levels, and those 4 levels are obviously interconnected. So that was our gift to schools in England, to give them that concept. And then we had conferences like this for schools, and we developed an award scheme as well. So 3 levels of awards. One is peacemaker in a school, any age, could be a child, could be a member of staff, could be the dinner lady. Peaceful project could be anything like a peace garden or peaceful week, the whole school doing peaceful projects all week, all sorts of projects. And then the sort of top, in a way, the top award is when the school is fulfilling a lot of things on all those 4 levels that I said. So they have they have, say, yoga for children, massage, a lot of counselling. I mean, children massaging each other. Sorry, calm things. Relationship building, restorative justice, then a peaceful school environment, maybe outside a labyrinth or a peace garden, and then lots of work beyond the school gates. So those schools can have beacon peaceful school status. And we started giving them banners and trophies, which they like. So we put things together in How to Be a Peaceful School book, which you can buy on Amazon. And the other thing we've done which works is we've provided a lot of resources, free resources online, and also printed resources. I'll leave it all here. And what doesn't work is that schools are very short of money and short of time. They can't really, because they don't have the money to substitute for their teachers to go on training, then it's harder to, to train teachers, to inspire them, explain to them about peace. So we have to do that. A lot of it's done through the internet, and word of mouth. And what we could do better is to have a peace education fund, maybe a sort of global fund that people can tap into so that they can build peace in their community. Because a lot of it is done by people like me and my colleague who are individually motivated, like individual head teachers who are motivated to make the schools peaceful schools. And just to say, just one point I wanted to make is that every school is different in England, even though they have a national curriculum and the sort of state schools. But our curriculum is very conducive to peace. And so, we're pushing at an open door, really. We just find those key motivated individuals. But if you're thinking about globally, I mean, all schools in the world should be engines of peace, or peace workshops, educating peaceful leaders of now and the future. But every country is different. In Uganda, where I've got connections, there's a lot of violence between schools. They have school strikes, and they don't go on strikes like Greta Thunberg. Individual school pupils go and set fire to other schools. These are the kind of differences they have. We have stabbings, basically, in England, I'm afraid, and very poor mental health. So every school system is different, every school, the issues are different. But I think our peaceful school concept could apply around the world very easily. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna Maria. Anna, thank you very much. I think we heard from different perspectives. Certainly, there is a need to act together. If we're talking also of partnerships, let's not forget, this is the subject for this discussion, how we can act together. So we still have the two gentlemen, no, a lady and a gentleman who are waiting, and but we have to close because we have another session following this one, and I would like to ask them one question already: what works at community level? What, in your opinion, works in community level, and what is your key message? What are the key words?
Trying to just make a statement here. Right, we know it's education, safety, and peace, all the topics that we are discussing today. I just want you to have in mind that we do not need to have a huge project. We can start on a daily basis, just having in mind that men and boys needs to have their rights and nothing more, and women and girls needs to have their rights and nothing less. Men and boys to have the rights and nothing more. Women and girls to have the rights and nothing less. If we all have that in mind on a daily basis, not only in our projects, and if we push girls to have their rights on education, we can easily change the equation. Thank you very much and have a beautiful end of the day.
Thank you. Ian, up to you, please. Sum it up.
I have a couple of thoughts and ideas around what's already been spoken. So our friends from the UK have shared really interesting ideas around, say, localizing initiatives and taking a localized approach or contextual approach. And I think that really works well. So that is something that we've also seen on the ground while we're working. Just want to bring to you the quote from UNESCO's charter since wars begin in the minds of men, it is in the minds of men that defenses of peace must be constructed. Now, on a lighter note, I think this also calls for perspective on, say, gender and development perspective within, like, peace education, trying to bring in, like what Bia also spoke about. Very central to peace education and to peace itself is the role and involvement and leadership of women in these contexts. So I think that is one. Second thing, like peace within communities and societies, as we work on peace education, also we need to understand is how integration or social integration works. Now, in many contexts, many societies, we have people from diverse backgrounds coming together, and we also see a challenge of integration. So trying to understand as we work on peace education, what are the levers that are actually, like, behind the societies or like, engagements that communities have, whether, like, we are looking at fostering bonding social capital, or say bridging social capital, and trying to see if we can balance them. So in the context of, like, say, for example, Sweden, you see a rise in gang violence and similar, what do you call, social problems. This is also because of, like, the bonding social capital, and how do you balance it with, say, for example, bridging social capital. So when we are trying to engage in initiatives, trying to understand, like, what are the implications and how can we work on that. So I think that's really interesting and important. And second thing, like, there's no need for us to reinvent the wheel. There are a lot of initiatives and interventions that are really working. So instead of, like, doing things from the scratch, trying to see if we can come together as a collective. And I think this conference is one good example of bringing people together and trying to see what works and what doesn't work, and trying to learn from each other. So I think this is something that we need to do a lot more. And I would really recommend more of this, where we exchange and learn from each other.
Thank you, Ian. And now we go to the bring home from these sessions. Thank you.
Sure. So we're all going to be, after these 2 days, we're all going to be returning to our local community. And my one ask to every single person here, when you do go back to your local community, if you do not already have a relationship with your local representative, if you do not currently reach out to them on an issue, get in contact with them and ask them what are they doing to advance peace education in your local community or globally. And if they do not respond, hound them on social media, and then they'll definitely respond, because they have as much of a role to play as national politicians, because all peace starts local. Thank you.
Here, I want to distinguish a lady who is young, but who fought all her life in her career for human rights and peace education. Today, she is the general director of this beautiful venue, the Palace Golden Gate. And she has been in her career also what we are calling in French the défenseur des droits, which means that basically you're spending your time and your life trying to help people who have difficulties when it comes to human rights, if you know what I mean. So dealing with injustice, and justice is her passion. So it's my privilege to introduce Mrs. Constance Rivière tonight. Constance, we wanted, on behalf of Global Peace Education Network, to tell you how remarkable the work you're doing is. We want to thank you very much and give you this Lifetime Achievement Award, just to tell you how much we are admiring your career. That will be, of course, still long, but so far you have done so much that we want to do this language and to tell you thank you for your generosity to offer us to stay here, and please continue the good work. So thank you very much for everything you're doing.
Stand up, huh? Come on. Come on, huh?
No, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Just a few words to express my gratitude to organize this very important event in this museum. I'm quite embarrassed about speaking of my professional career. I don't know exactly. I hope there's a lot to do in the future. So maybe the past I try to do my best, but it's never enough. And when I see everything you do for peace education with young people everywhere in the world, I feel very modest in what I try to do here. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, David Hohenberg, for everything you do. Thank you very much for Global Education, Peace Education Network. And just a few words about the place we are here. Maybe don't like very much speaking about me. This museum, I don't know if you had the opportunity to visit it. It's a quite new museum in France. We opened it 15 years ago. And the idea was to create a migration museum in France. And as you may know, France is one of the countries in the world with bigger part of migration in its population. It's one French over three who is migrant or son or grandson of migrant. And so it is our history. But it is not often very easy to face this history. Migration in France is a very polemic and difficult topic. And here we try in our way to express this history as a shared history. It is the museum of how France became France and how we became us. And us is very, very important. We are a place for young people. We are a place where we can maybe contribute to peace by knowing each other better. So it was very meaningful you came here. Thank you very much for everything and hope you enjoy your day here.
It's hard to believe that 5 years have passed since a few peace-building organizations got together with the aim of moving peace education up on the global agenda. That's what the Global Peace Education Network is all about: strengthening the peace education community, amplifying our collective voice so together we make a difference, connecting with each other, advocating policies that open the doors to peace education in schools, business, and government, showcasing peace education programs that work, learning together, and helping one another. Everything we do here at GPEN, everything you'll experience today, is volunteer-driven, produced by people like you and me, dedicated to peace. We contribute our time, our passion, our professional skills, and our own funds to make this happen. We hope you'll visit our website and join our partnership today.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for your energy and time. Have we figured out putting Congo Tales on the screen? Yes? Okay, can you play Congo Tales while I sing this song? Is that possible? Does that work for you? Awesome. This is the brilliant photographer that is responsible for what you are going to see here behind me in just a moment. This is Peter Henke. Another opportunity to dance if you want it. We feel it again. This wind is heavy like stones. They won't break your back. We got to push on. We know this ain't right. Oh, we carry on. We find our freedom from flight without our eye. These are very low. But there's a fire. connected to old folklore, yes? They were connected to stories that a whole community told. I think you guys heard him talk about it yesterday. If you guys want to know more about Peter and the brilliance that is this man, and multiple other volumes of art that have happened around the world, what is your website? www.PieterHenket.com. PeterHenket.com. I just want to say thank you guys so much for your vision and your commitment to peace.